Hey everyone, welcome to MyRussound for MBX-Series. In this slightly longer than normal video, we're going to go a little bit more in depth on how to use MyRussound when controlling an MBX-Series setup. So this will be applicable if you have several MBX amps, maybe it's just one MBX amp, maybe you have an MBX-PRE set into zone mode or several of them. Anything to do with using MBX devices as individual streaming zones, this is going to show you how to use MyRussound to control them. So let's go ahead and jump right in. This is the latest version of MyRussound, taking advantage of all the new features, bells and whistles that we've added to this. So this warrants another run through, even though we've already had a few videos outlining this with certain topics. We're just going to run through the whole system with a fine-tooth comb and show you how to operate it. Let's go ahead and jump in now. So when you first engage your XTS or XTS touchscreen keypad or launch your Russound app, you will end up connecting to your system and you'll be looking at one of maybe several zones. We've connected to our kitchen zone here. So we're going to start by looking at what every icon is on this and we'll branch out from there. Starting at the top center, this is showing the current room that we have selected for control. We have several MBXs set up here, so we can actually tap here to see all the available rooms. And we're going to come back to this in a little bit, and we're going to continue looking at the other icons here first. In the top right corner, we have the settings icon, which will expand the settings sidebar for system control here. The main meat and potatoes, if you will, of the screen is dedicated to showing you metadata, album art cover, all that good stuff of what's playing at this current time. Right now we don't have anything playing, so it shows just a music note and the message stopped. But we're going to get this fired up in a moment and you'll see this will change a little bit. We also have context-based controls at the bottom, which will change based on what type of streaming service or audio selection we've made on the system. Located down towards the bottom right above our context controls is the menu button. This will open the menu for this particular MBX streamer so that we can peruse the options available to it. In the bottom we have our slide-in volume control. In the bottom left we have our mute state with it grayed out, and it is currently now. This means that it's not muted. Tapping this icon will mute the MBX, and we'll see this in the form of the red circle with a line through it. And the bottom right corner is the favorites icon. This is for the Russound favorites. We're going to cover this in a little bit as well. Alright, so let's go back into the room management. To do this, we're going to tap the name of the room that we're in right here where it says kitchen, and we'll see all available rooms for control. I have 3 MBXs set up with the name kitchen, living room, and bedroom. Your setup might be different than mine. The MBX products are very modular, so there's a multitude of ways that you can use them. Maybe you're even just using one MBX, so you only have one room here, but you could see a lot more or a lot less than what I am looking at now. With each room, we do actually have the ability to increase and decrease volume right through this menu without having to actually go into control the zone directly. It's a nice feature. We can do that for each room. We also have a little blue dot, which simply indicates this is the current room that we have selected for full control. The kitchen was the one that we started, and that's why the blue dot is there. If I select the living room, the blue dot will follow me and will change that position. So this just makes it easy when you go into the room menu to see which is the current one you or the last one you have selected for system control. The last thing on this page to make note of is the plus symbol located to the right of each room name. This is used for grouping MBXs together. If we want to make a group with multiple MBXs, so that instead of them being independent streaming devices, we've grouped them into one large group, all we have to do is tap the plus symbol next to the one room that we want to host the group. In this case, we'll do the kitchen. Tap the plus symbol, and we'll be instructed to add one or other rooms into the group. Let's go ahead and just add the living room by checking this off and hitting OK. And we've now created a group, the kitchen group, if you will. The kitchen is the host of this group. Whatever music we play in the kitchen will play to not just the kitchen, but also any group members as well. In this case, the living room is joined in this group, so the living room will also be listening to the same music. We still have individual volume adjustment. However, we do now have an additional option here where we can do group volume control. This makes it very easy to adjust volume as a whole for any group members, yet still retaining the ability to individually adjust volume levels per room if we need to. If we want to add additional rooms to this existing group, we just simply need to tap the plus icon again. Now we can select any remaining rooms that we want and hit OK. And now we have a full group with 3 rooms in it. If I want to remove a particular room from this existing group, I just simply tap the minus symbol next to that one group, that one room, and the living room is now removed from the group. If I want to disband the entire group, I just simply tap the X button next to the group. That'll disband the whole group and we'll go back into having individual zones. You can get pretty creative with these. You can actually have more than one group active at a time. If you have, let's say, 6 MBXs, you could actually have 3 groups of 2 if you'd like. You can get very creative with those, as I mentioned. Let's go ahead and move on to a little bit more detail regarding zone control. So now that we've covered how you select a room and manage volume and grouping, let's now look at actually playing a music service or music station of choice on this room. Alright, so now that we want to actually play something in this room, we're going to need to first tap the menu icon located on the right side here. Tap this and we'll get the full list of all our services available to us on the MBX. Everything from recently played to playlist, and all of the services that are licensed and built in along with our analog and digital input options as well. This is fully customizable now with the latest firmware, so a Russound certified installer can organize and set these up in any order they want, and they can also exclude and hide certain options from showing in this interface as well. So the option to make this a little bit more tidy is available, and that's done right through WebConfig for Russound certified installers. Anyways, back to the task at hand here. We're going to go ahead and play some music. We'll just fire up Sirius XM here, and I'll just choose some pop and choose Sirius XM hits number 1 here just to get something going. You'll now see that we have a little bit more going on in the background here. We have album art or metadata for whatever's playing now. We have a timer here showing how long we've been listening to and the details regarding this station. Now, because this is Sirius XM and I don't have the option of skipping any songs forward or back, I only have a pause and play option. But if we are listening to something like Spotify, for example, we might have a few more options available to us, like skip track forward, repeat track, shuffle tracks, all that good stuff. So again, context-based controls will appear here, and this might change based on what music service or option you are listening to. We still have the option for volume control, we still have our mute options, we still have access to the menu, everything's still here, it's just what we've chosen as a selection is now available for us to see playback here now. In addition to choosing a music service, we can also take advantage of favorites. If we want to add this station as a favorite or even manage or recall existing favorites, all we have to do is tap the favorite star icon in the bottom right corner here. Let's go ahead and do that now. We currently have one favorite saved in the system as an app favorite. If we want to manage favorites, all we have to do is tap the 3 dots to the right of that. We're going to go ahead and just delete this favorite for now. And I'd like to add this new station as a favorite. You have 2 favorite options. We can add this as an app favorite or a room favorite. App favorites will be stored right on the mobile app on your phone or tablet, and they can be played with you. And because the MBX products are separate pieces of hardware, unlike an MCA, which is one integrated system, each app favorite we save, since it's stored in the phone or the tablet itself, will be accessible no matter which MBX we select. So now that I've saved Sirius XM hits number 1 as an app favorite, we're going to go back and we're going to select a different room. Let's go into the living room now. And we can also go into our favorites from here and select this as a favorite. This is because it's stored in the application, not the MBX itself. You'll notice here that I do have a room favorite for this particular MBX. This favorite was not showing on the other room because we have an app favorite saved, which will be global across all MBXs, whereas room favorites are stored locally on the MBX hardware. So you can have a variety of roam favorites and app favorites. For best use, you might want to find the right mix that fits your needs. If you have several MBXs and you frequent one or two specific music stations or services, app favorites are probably going to be best for you. But if you have people operating your MBXs in different rooms that might not have their phone or tablet with them or don't care about having their own app favorites, room favorites will more custom tailor that one room of audio with preset favorites of your choosing. That covers favorites. Favorites again can be managed through that icon and the additional options for each favorite here. We can add and remove favorites as we see fit. Long story short, app favorites are available on all of your MBXs and any other Russound products you are connecting to outside of these MBXs that we're looking at, whereas room favorites are stored locally to one MBX piece of hardware at a time. The last thing we're going to cover here is the settings icon and the features that are contained within that. Alright, so we're going to go into the settings here. For this, we're going to go back to the kitchen and we'll tap settings. We have audio settings. Audio settings will adjust and impact only this one room of audio, so we can adjust bass, treble, balance, things like that, turn on volume. Anything we set in here is only going to affect the kitchen, so if we want to increase or decrease the turn on volume from the other rooms, we would need to first select that room and then go into the appropriate settings menu for that room. So these initial audio settings up here, these are only going to affect one particular room. Timers and alarms, we're going to talk about this in a moment. We'll just briefly come back to that. We're briefly going to just go over this and we'll come back to that. But timers and alarms are per room as well. So if we set a sleep timer or alarm, it's only going to affect the kitchen room that we currently have selected. Multi-room options, there's not a whole lot here, but we do have a few good ones. All rooms off and all rooms on. This just simply sends a global command to all MBXs in your setup to turn them all on and all off. This is actually also compatible with any MCA systems you might have in the same installation. So if you do have an MBX-AMP standalone and an MCA-Series system, an all off and all on command will affect both products. And then we just have general settings here for system language, the sidebar app launcher that you could use to launch third-party apps if you know the proper URL scheme for those apps, and information about the MyRussound software. Alright, so the big one I want to show you is a sleep timer and alarm and schedules. Sleep timer is pretty simple. We select this option and we can enable or disable the sleep timer selection. This only affects this one room we have selected. We can also adjust the time it takes for the sleep timer to count down on. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45, and 60 minutes are available to us. When a sleep timer is engaged, it'll count down from the time that we've selected, and when that countdown hits 0, the MBX will receive a power stop command. So whatever audio we're listening to in this room will stop. This sleep timer option would also be effective if you want to run it across multiple MBXs, provided they're all in the same group. So if you have several MBXs in one group and you go into that group leader and you adjust the music service you're listening to, it's now playing through all of the group members. You can also set the sleep timer for the party host, the group host, and when that music service stops when the timer hits 0, that's obviously going to also affect any of the group followers as well. Alarms and schedules is a pretty big deal here. This is new to the MBX series, but very handy. If we want to use an alarm or a schedule, the same concept will apply as the sleep timer, meaning that it will only affect one room at a time. unless these rooms happen to be grouped together and the host of the group is the one that is being affected by an alarm or a schedule. To add a new alarm or schedule, we just simply tap the plus icon. We can then set the time for the alarm to hit. We can choose the day of the week that we want it to occur. We can adjust the volume for the alarm. And of course we have more options here. We can adjust what sound will play when the alarm engages. On an MBX series product, we can actually choose from some preset chimes, which is pretty handy if you want to wake up to a generic chime or buzzer alarm. Or you can choose from favorites. So if you have home favorites stored on your MBX, this does require a home favorite to be stored. We can't use an app favorite for this. Then we can select that favorite to be played back when the alarm hits. We can also choose the type of alarm. The basic alarm function is just simply that of an alarm. So when the alarm does go off, we'll be presented with a dismiss or sleep option on the MyRussound interface. Dismiss will turn the alarm off until the next time the alarm is set to occur, whereas snooze will simply snooze the alarm until the appropriate time for it to come back, and we can change the snooze timeout as well. Schedule takes away the alarm clock type of options and just simply makes this a more automated alarm, so that when the change occurs or the alarm actually strikes the time that we have set for it, the date and time, the audio service, the sound, the favorite, whatever we have selected will play, but it won't show an alert or like a dismiss or snooze option on the MyRussound interface like an alarm would. So a schedule is best used when we want to automate the MBX so that certain music services will play at certain times. It's a very powerful and very capable tool. We actually have a video that covers that a little bit more as well. Be sure to reach out to us if you have any questions. These are new features and we hope you are all going to take good advantage of them. And if you have any questions, again, reach out to us. We'd be happy to walk you through how to use these. We can adjust the duration of our alarm as well for how long that chime or that music service is playing. We can adjust the ramp volume option for yes or no. If we have this set as yes, what will happen is when the chime, in this case our alarm clock buzzer, goes off, it'll start at a low level and it will slowly ramp up until reaching the maximum volume level that we've indicated here at 74%. With the alarm option, we do have one extra option here for the snooze time where we can adjust the snooze. Once we do have an alarm or a schedule saved, we can easily manage that through the alarm menu for this room. We can disable or turn it on. We can see details about when the alarm will occur, what will play, and we can also choose to delete it by tapping the recycle bin icon. If an alarm is active in a room, we'll see an icon that we didn't previously see next to the room name. A little clock will appear, so this will let us know that there's some kind of alarm or schedule currently set for active. That's pretty much it for MyRussound. I hope you found this overview for MyRussound for MBX products helpful, and if you have any questions, definitely be sure to reach out to us. Thank you. Take care.